Alright everyone, today we are ranking every ARK map from the easiest to the absolute hardest. Whether you are a beginner looking for a smooth ride, or a hardened veteran searching for the ultimate challenge, this list has got you covered. Now, I have broken it down into 3 factors. Early game, which is how tough it is to get started. Mid game, which includes resources, progression and survival, and as well as late game, which also includes boss fights, cave difficulty, and preparation. Now remember guys, this list is based on my experiences and personal opinions, so if you disagree, just let me know please in the comments respectfully. Now before we jump in, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell to stay updated on all things ARK. Let's jump in. Coming in as the easiest map is Crystal Isles, the tropical paradise of ARK. Starting out on this map feels more like a vacation than a survival experience. Why? Well, you can tame crystal wyverns passively from day one. All it takes is a handful of crystals and boom, you've got a flying death machine with no traps, no risk and no hassle. Resources are also everywhere and there's no shortage of safe spots to build your base. As far as artifacts are concerned, forget any dangerous caves. Most artifacts are just lying out in the open waiting for you to grab them. Sure, the map has its tougher moments like the boss fight with the Crystal Wyvern Queen, but even that's manageable compared to what's coming up on this list, especially in the later placements. Next we have Genesis Part 2, also known as Tech Suit Simulator. Right from the start you're handed a tech suit, so yeah, that's right, no grinding, no crafting, just instant access to super speed, flight and immunity to fall damage. And let's be real, once you can fly, most threats in ARK aren't even really threats anymore. What's more, Genesis 2 introduces some of the most overpowered tools and creatures into the game. The Tech Strider makes resource gathering a joke, and the Net Gun turns taming into child's play. Missions on this map are rewarding, and you can even buy resources like Genesis Part 1, however, for different reasons that map is way further up the list than this one. And yeah, all these features just kind of bypass most of the grind, especially early to mid game. The final boss as well, Rockwell Prime, is also not too challenging, but overall this map is an ARK player's dreamland. The center is a beautiful map, but don't let that fool you. It's a pretty standard survival experience. The early game is straightforward, with plenty of safe areas such as the tropical islands and resources to get you started. Mid game is quite balanced, with caves that offer a manageable challenge. The bosses, however, are the easiest of any official map. The center arena pits you against the Broodmother and Mechapithecus, but both are heavily nerfed. However, this map does lack the advanced creatures and engrams of DLC maps, meaning you're stuck with the base game tools. It's just simple, classic ARK, nothing more and nothing less, which is why the center has definitely garnered its own kind of cult following in the ARK fanbase. At number 9 we've got Lost Island, a map brimming with content. From Maywings to Wyverns, you pretty much have access to a diverse lineup of creatures that make surviving much easier. The map's diverse biomes are resource rich, and the early game feels smooth, giving you plenty of time to establish yourself. The Dinopithecus King is quite the challenge, but with so many tools and tames available, Lost Island remains relatively forgiving compared to the maps higher on the list. Number 8, Valguero. Valguero lands here, offering a mix of ease and challenge. Early and mid game are a breeze with plenty of resources and safe zones to build your base, however, Valguero's late game ramps up the difficulty considerably. The boss arena is where this map earns its place. Facing the Broodmother, Megapithecus and Dragon all at once is no small feat. Even with a solid army of tames, the arena's mechanics can throw you off your game. Valguero is also a map that lures you into a false sense of security before hitting you hard when it matters most. Coming in at number 7 is Ragnarok, the fan favourite map, and one of my personal favourites. Early game progression feels rewarding, with rich resources and powerful creatures like griffins to tame. It's a map that encourages exploration, with hidden caves, loot drops and biomes to keep you busy. But don't let the abundance of resources fool you, Ragnarok does not hold back. The Ice Queen lurks in the frozen dungeon, and the final boss arena pits you against the dragon and manticore simultaneously. While not the hardest combo, it is challenging enough to make you sweat, and Ragnarok strikes a balance between accessibility and difficulty, making it a satisfying map for survivors of all levels. Coming in at number 6 we have Fjordur, a map that demands your attention and most definitely preparation. It offers an incredible variety of creatures and access to engrams from other DLCs, as it was the last map that was released in ARK, but it does make you work for it. Fjordur features 7 boss battles, including 3 mini-bosses, the island's 3 guardians, and this all leads up to the Mega Fjordur Guardian. Each boss requires careful planning, and the caves that house artifacts are some of the toughest in ARK. Early game is manageable, but by the time you hit late game, Fjordor becomes a gauntlet of challenges. Every victory feels earned, and the progression is as satisfying as it is punishing. Scorched Earth kicks off the top 5, and if you've ever spawned into a sandstorm surrounded by raptors, you know why. The early game on this map is brutal. The scorching heat, aggressive predators, and relentless weather events like lightning storms and heat waves keep you constantly on edge. However, once you hatch your own wyvern egg, the map flips from survival horror to sandbox playground. Wyverns dominate the mid-game, giving you the mobility and firepower to handle most threats. The Manticore boss fight is also one of the easier arenas, but the punishing start ensures Scorched Earth remains a tough challenge overall. Number 4, the island. The island might be the original map, but don't underestimate it. Early and mid-game are balanced, but progression can feel slow without access to modern DLC mechanics. No fancy creatures or shortcuts, just you, your tools, and your tames. The real challenge lies in the late game. The Tech Cave is a brutal endeavour of high-level enemies leading to the Overseer, one of ARK's toughest bosses. The Overseer fight demands everything, from preparation to execution, making the island map a map that starts simple but ends with a bang. Coming in at number 3 is Aberration, the map that keeps you on your toes from the very beginning. Early game throws you into the thick of it, with Spinos, Ravagers, and Basilisks dominating the easy zones. Survival here is a constant struggle, forcing you to adapt quickly. Progression involves delving into radiation zones to steal rock drake eggs, a task that demands preparation and precision. Aberration overall is a relentless test of skill, patience, and planning. Extinction takes the second spot for its sheer scale and intensity. The map starts off deceptively simple, with safe zones in the city, but step into the wasteland and you're met with corrupted creatures and supply drop defenses. Late game is where Extinction shines and terrifies. You'll need to fight and tame 3 titans before taking on the King Titan, ARK's ultimate challenge. The grinding, preparation, and multi-stage battles make Extinction one of the most demanding maps in the game. Finally, the hardest map in ARK is undoubtedly Genesis Part 1. From the moment you spawn, this map doesn't let up. Each biome presents its own unique dangers, and even the easy bog biome is filled with threats that can end your journey in minutes. Progression revolves around missions, many of which are frustratingly difficult. From escorting fragile creatures to battling waves of enemies, every task feels like an uphill battle. Then comes the final boss, the Master Controller. This fight is brutal, requiring precise teamwork and preparation to succeed, and for all you solo players out there, this fight is pretty much impossible. Genesis Part 1 is relentless from start to finish, earning its spot as ARK's hardest map. And that is my ranking of ARK's maps from easiest to hardest. Do you agree with this list, guys, or would you rank them differently? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you know. Now, before I go, I do want to just share something a little personal. I have had a bit of a break from YouTube recently, and to be honest, I've just missed it entirely. Making these videos and connecting with the ARK community is, it's very fun, and I don't want to give it up. So if you've stuck with me and haven't unsubscribed in these last 4 months, then thank you so much, and I look forward to the future. Thank you.